Oh, God. Oh. See, guys, this is the future of gaming right here. This is the future Nvidia reptile overlords wants us to have. If you want to use 4 times frame gen upscaling, you're gonna have to spend thousands of dollars buying Nvidia's new 5000 series graphics card. What if I can tell you they can get the same thing, but not only do 4 times the frame gen, you can do 20 times the frame gen using lossless scaling. And you can get it for, how much is it? For only $7, you can do 20 times frame gen on there. So today we're going to be comparing that 20 times lossless frame gen compared to Nvidia's own DLSS frame gen, and we're also going to be mixing into AMD's frame gen also, so let's get into it. First of all, does lossless frame gen actually give you 20 times scaling? And it actually does. If we open up the software right here, we can see that you have the new LSFG 3.0. Previously, it was a 2.3, which in my opinion didn't work that well. I thought this software was kind of bullshit in my opinion, but the 3.0 actually works really well. And with it, you have different modes. You have 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and then you have a custom option where you can go up to 20 times frame gen, scaling, whatever you want to call it. And it actually works kind of well depending on how far you go on there, but we're going to be comparing it. So first game we're going to compare on here is going to be Cyberpunk, since that's what Nvidia has been showing. And then Cyberpunk is also a good test subject because it's still, even if you get like yourself like a 4090, it's still a hard game to run. It's a hard game to run, and also because it supports both the AMD and Nvidia upscaling features on it, and we're also going to be able to use the lossless scaling on there. But before we begin, we're so close to hitting 500 subscribers on this channel, so if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you don't like it, call me a racial slur in the comment section. I'm Turkish. Alright, first we're going to run the game just raw without any upscaling or anything. We're running the game at 1440p, and we're using pretty much everything maxed out on here. No resolution scaling, no DLSS, no frame gen on here. And then everything just maxed out, psycho, DLSS, lighting, everything on here. And as you can see, we're getting around 30 FPS on the 4080 Super on here. So if we enable DLSS on here, we go to performance mode, so we're going to go from 1440p to 720p. On here, we're going to get 75 FPS. And honestly, DLSS, I'm a pretty big fan of it. This looks pretty good on there. It feels great. It's a fast version of the game. Game runs great, 70 FPS on here. And then if we just enable frame gen on here, alright, now we got frame gen on, and as you can see, we're getting 133 FPS. The game still feels great. This is a better experience overall. So with frame gen, honestly, for most games, it's a net improvement, but only if you already have high FPS. So right now we were at 80 FPS, we went to 140 FPS. So it's a great experience. You're turning 70 FPS to 140 FPS isn't that much hard, to be honest, because you already have a lot of frames, so to create fake frames out of them is not really that difficult. So now let's check out what AMD's solution does. So if we go from, so we're going to turn off DLSS on here, and we're going to go to AMD's resolution 3, and we're going to go to performance mode on there. We're going to turn off frame gen real quick, and I don't like this. I will admit that the AMD's DLSS solution is just not good. I mean, like, this looks terrible on here. Like, every foliage, every edge on here is just like moving up and down. Like, it's cool they can work on any graphics card, but I don't know, there's a reason why Nvidia kind of locks it behind over certain graphics cards, because honestly it just doesn't work on other cards, and the technology stuff isn't as good as Nvidia's. So now if we enable frame gen on top of it on here, we're gonna have to restart the game again. All right, now we got the AMD solution on here, and as you can see, AMD actually gets more FPS than Nvidia's DLSS, and it's not bad, but it's the Nvidia, or I'm not the Nvidia, AMD FSR that I'm not a fan of. I just don't think it looks good. But the AMD frame gen honestly isn't bad, especially when we're doing the high frame rate test on here. It's honestly not bad on there. It's just more my problem with the AMD solution is just going to be the FSR. FSR, in my opinion, just looks terrible. And even if we cheat on here, if we go from performance mode to like quality mode on here, it still doesn't look as good as like AMD's performance mode. I mean, not AMD. I mean, Nvidia's performance mode. Even if you go to like Nvidia's like ultra performance mode, in my opinion, that looks better than AMD's quality modes. That's how big the gap is between these two softwares. That's why whenever someone asks me which graphics card I should get, nowadays I just recommend Nvidia because AMD is just so far behind. Maybe with Intel's, you know, new technologies, maybe they'll catch up, but AMD is so far behind when it comes to these softwares. Now, AMD does have a newer version they are working on. They were just showing off at CSS, so hopefully that will be a lot better, but the current AMD solutions is terrible. So now, let's turn this off on here. We're going to go back to NVIDIA Super Solution. We'll go back to performance on there. We're going to turn off frame gen. And we're gonna try to use lossless scaling and see how that performs when you already have high FPS. All right, now we got lossless scaling working on here, and lossless scaling honestly looks pretty good. Again, it's not limited by AMD's FSR software because you can use this alongside with Nvidia's DLSS technology as long as you have an Nvidia's card on there. But as you can see, one bad thing about the lossless scaling is that it's limited by how much FPS you can get on your monitor. Like this monitor right here only goes up to 100 frames per second, so it's limited by it. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter considering that, you know, this monitor can only show 100 FPS, so it doesn't matter if I can go to higher FPSs on there. It would have been nice, but it doesn't let you do that, unfortunately. Well, I'll turn it off. But as you can see, it looks pretty good on there. I'm not seeing any type of, you know, intrusions or anything on here. I don't see any types of artifacting or anything on here. I mean, it looks really good on there. So the only thing I will say is that this does give you more input delay over the Nvidia's frame gen and AMD solutions. So, all right, now we're gonna push it to the limit. All right, so we're gonna go back to AMD on here, and we're gonna set the quality on here to native AA, and we're not gonna have frame gen on. So we're gonna be at native resolution on here, and we'll just turn the FPS counter back on. I cannot use it during the lossless scaling on here. And as you can see, we're getting around 30 FPS just natively playing the game. So what happens if we turn on frame gen on here? So if we turn on FSR frame gen on here, man, that does not look like 50, 60 FPS on here. That is very stuttery on there. This is not a good experience at all. There's a significant out of delay on here. Let's see how it looks if I drive a car on here. Oh god. Ugh. This like honestly like hurts my eyes to look at it. Oh god. Well, we're getting around 50 FPS. Honestly, it feels better to just play the game without any frame gen on at this point. But yeah, that's the big flaw of frame gen, is that if you do have low FPS, then it makes the experience worse. So it only really works if you have high FPS. But if you have high FPS, then most of the cases you don't even need frame gen. You know, it's only for like people who have like, you know, 240 FPS monitors or 144 FPS monitors, and you're getting like 80 FPS, and you're like, all right, let me get that extra 40, 50 FPS so I can, you know, hit that higher threshold of my TV or monitor on there. But at low FPS, this doesn't work that well. So now let's try Nvidia's frame gen and see how that works at low FPSs. Alright, now we got the Nvidia frame gen on here, and again, Nvidia does this the best. There isn't a huge amount of input delay on here, and honestly, the game looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this actually looks pretty good on here. I'm not seeing any like ghosting or anything, even like behind the car. That's the one thing to look for, is how much like, you know, ghosting happens behind the car, but I'm not seeing any. This honestly feels pretty good. You can definitely feel like there's like half a second of delay on here, but this honestly looks pretty good. Like this is, oh man, this is actually pretty playable. Like, it's not the best, and as you can see, our frame rate dropped to like 40s there, and that's not a good experience, but you know, compared to not having any frame gen, you know, if we just turn off frame gen on here, like this is a stuttery mess over here at, you know, 20s, 30 FPS. When you do go to frame gen, oh god, okay, that's a pretty big. Oh, the input delay is pretty bad. If they can fix the input delay with the Reflex 2.0, oh my god, I might be believing in fake frames, guys. Oh my god. Like, you can see, like, if you look at the light poles over there, like, okay, it doesn't do it now, but like if you just walk through it, you can see like it's like shrieking and ghosting on there. So there's definitely a lot of artifacts, but like, damn, this honestly isn't terrible on there. But now let's see. Let's get to the main showdown. This is what you guys been waiting for. Now let's try lossless scaling, okay? So we're gonna turn off DLA also. We're gonna turn off all scaling and everything. I'll turn off the frame gen on there. And as you can see, we're getting the mid 20s, 30 FPS on here. I'm just gonna turn this off because this does not work with lossless scaling. Lossless scale has its own FPS, and it's actually very annoying to try to record it, but I got it working for you guys. So let me just pause it and let's get frame gen working here. Alright, we got lossless scaling on here, and as you can see, we're turning 27 FPS into 53 FPS on here. And look at this, guys, we're not even getting the shrieking on the lights anymore. Is this actually better than DLSS right here? I mean, wow. They have done such a great job with the software, because the previous version of the software honestly didn't work that well. From using it, like I wasn't that impressed. It just had way too many artifacting on it, but now this is honestly not bad. Yeah, I mean, there's like still like that like weird morphing effect that happens, like as if you're like almost all underwater on here. Let's see how the car driving looks. Okay, so the car does have a lot of ghosting behind it on there, so that is not perfect on there. Nvidia still seems to be better at it, but the input delay seems similar to Nvidia's frame gen, to be honest. This is definitely better than AMD's solution. But you know what, guys? This is not all it's capable of doing. We can go to 3 times frame gen, and we can see what that looks like. Oh my god, the reflections do not look good. I don't know if that's lossless scaling, but that is a lot of artifacting on there. Probably needs ray reconstruction to make those look viable. But let's try to use 3 times now. Alright, now we got 3 times scaling, so we went from 28 FPS to 83 FPS, and there's a lot of input delay now. It's like a good like half a second, and at the edges of the screen you can really see a lot of artifacting on there. Like when you're jumping on there and you see the hand multiplies by like 4 times on there. Oh yeah, you can look at the wire on here. If you look at the wire, if I just move the wire up and down, it just creates a bunch of versions of it. Honestly, the 2x looks and feels better than the 3 times X on here. Oh god, why is she calling me?
Hey Judy, what's up?
Judy, go away.
Can you come over, Stat?
Something happened?
What happened?
Yeah. Just come.
Oh god, I don't even know what happened. I might need to quit this video and see what Judy's up to. But I don't know. I think 2x works better, but you can get 80 FPS, and especially if you're like just looking around the city and like just slowly panning the screen, like it looks pretty smooth on there. So now let's try 4 times and get to 100 FPS. Let's see how that looks. All right, now we went from 29 FPS to a stable 100 FPS on there, and there is literally a second long input delay on here. This is pretty insane. And when you move your head face, it's just morph. Feels like you're like being teleported to like another part of the screen on here. Again, 2 times seems to be the sweet spot on here. You know, if Nvidia can pull this off without that much input delay and have it look good, that would be pretty amazing. But even though the lossless scale can do 4 times, you know, frame gen, it just doesn't look. I mean, like just going up and down on these stairs, it looks so weird. Very distracting on there. But you know what? We can't stop there, guys. What if we go to 5 times scaling? Okay, now we got 5 times scaling, and again, we're stuck at that 100 FPS limit because of my monitor on here, but oh my god. That's a lot of morphing on here, especially when you're like walking through foliage on here. Oh my god. Oh man, this is not a good experience. Here, let's try to drive our car. How does our car look at 5 times frame gen on here? Oh my god. Oh god. It looks like we're like just like swimming through water right now. Hey, what if we get some like smoke going on here? Oh my god, this actually doesn't look too bad on there, but oh my god. Oh yeah, when you're moving fast, it doesn't look good. What if I move slowly? If I move slowly, no, I think 2 times is still gonna be the sweet spot. But you know what? We can't stop there. Now let's go to 10 times frame gen. Okay, now we got 10 times frame gen on here, and if I just stand still, it doesn't look that bad. But once you move it, oh my god! If I just like whip my camera, it's just like whoa! I'm just being like teleported around. Here, what if I actually like dash forward? Oh my god! Oh, that's so weird. Oh god, going through menus here. Actually, how does it look to go through a menu? Oh my god, it's like a full second delay on here. It literally feels like I'm swimming underwater right now. Oh, here, let's get in my car. Let's see if we can get out of this like dream dimension we're in right now. Oh. God, did I just break my car? Let's go first person. Oh my god, this is like breaking my mind right now. Oh. This is horrible. But you know what, guys? We can't stop here. We gotta go to 20 times and see how that looks. Alright, we got 20 times frame gen right now. We're only processing 5% of the frames. The rest are just made up by AI on here. Oh my god. It's like a slideshow now. It's like a slideshow with the worst transitions effect in the world. I think I just murdered someone? Or was it all a dream? I don't know. Oh my god. Here, let's get out of the car. Ah. Dude, this, I feel like I'm inside of someone's dream right now. Like, it's so weird. Like, cause like the middle part of the image actually does look smooth, but there's something unsettling about it. I feel like you can make like a whole like horror game like this. With how weird this looks right here. Oh my god. Like, look at the water on here. Like, look at the waves. Oh. Oh, this is insane, dude. Oh. Who are these guys? Who are these people? It's a voodoo boy. I'm gonna kill him. Here, you die too, bitch. I did it. I got street cred for that. Oh my god. See, guys, this is the optimal way to play your games. This is how Nvidia wants you to play your games. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Tomorrow's video is gonna be me actually using lossless scaling on scenarios where it actually works really well. I'm playing some games that have hard-coded 30 frame limit on them, and I'm gonna be using it on them that works really well. And lossless scaling also works really well on emulation, so I'm going to be going into that in tomorrow's video. So if you're watching this video a couple days later that comes out, make sure to watch that video and check it out. It's going to be a good one. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 500 subscribers on there. We gotta beat Barnacle's Nerdgasm. That's our goal for the year. But if you didn't like it, call me the worst racial slur you can think of. All right, goodbye, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.